What's popping in the streets, everybody? I believe, therefore, I'm King Solid. Hope you're doing all right today. Obviously, today is a special day. Today, or technically last night, was the day. Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War arc, first episode drop. Please get a round of applause. Yeah, we're not doing it today. The King is back, baby. The King is back. One Piece, I told you a couple months ago, it's over. Sit down. Oda, we appreciate you holding it down, but guess what? Kubo is back. We're here. We don't need you. It's a dub. That's what we're doing here. But again, hats off to the entire Bleach franchise, the entire team. Kubo pushing through and definitely making this amazing anime comeback, even just for this small arc. Because we definitely have a lot to cover when it comes to this particular arc. So I'm extremely happy and ecstatic because obviously the other two big three, got continuations and they're taking an extremely long time, and they done got part twos. Like, no one cares about Boruto. I don't care what you say. Like, it's not Naruto. I don't care what anybody says. Until Naruto and Sasuke pop back up, which is what we typically do, is just go back. Oh, are they there? Not there? Okay, we're going back. But that's not what we're here. We're here to focus on Bleach today. But before we get started, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, please. This is one of my favorite topics, and is what we're here for today. And I appreciate everybody supporting. I have a goal to reach 1K followers. Right now, I think we're sitting at 535. And your subscription would definitely help me get to that point. So please, by all means, make sure you share the content. Let your friends know I like talking about this, and I love arguing about it. Just right off the back, I think Bleach is the #1 anime, period. I don't care. If you're with the drama, if you're with the shits, then we can definitely go back and forth about it. Let's talk about it. But let's go ahead and do it. I watched the episode last night. I could not wait. It's kind of funny. Disney got smart because I don't know if it was just me, but I had to update my PlayStation all of a sudden, and it kicked a bunch of people, or it didn't kick me off, but it made you update and then sign back in, and then everybody in the house was asleep. So of course I didn't want to wake my fiance. She was sleeping, and I didn't want to ask for the password. So that just simply shows it's like, we're gonna boot everybody off that doesn't properly have the password, so that way they can pay for it. So I don't know. I just think I'm a big conspiracy theorist, just as much as the next person. But that's just very strange. As soon as Bleach gets on, all of a sudden I need to update it. Now I got to sign back into Disney Plus. It is what it is. But just in case, it's also on Crunchyroll and it is also on Hulu. I'm not sponsored by either of them, but I'm just simply letting my people know that's where you can watch it. Disney Plus, Hulu, and Crunchyroll. It does not. It will not be shown on Funimation, so that sucks. But yeah, so definitely watching the episode, man. I was really excited. I loved it. I enjoyed it through and through. Kind of gave me that old school feeling of watching Toonami when I was a kid. Of course, when I was jumping when Bleach first came out over 10 years ago, obviously. And obviously Bleach has been gone for a while. Because again, I think 10 years ago over 10 years ago is when the manga was completed, and we actually had to, if you're a real fan, you were watching it, and obviously during that time, Kubo was under a lot of pressure to simply finish the anime, and he wasn't able to animate the last arc from Bleach. So I'm extremely happy, and I loved it. Just some stuff that I saw there that definitely had me kind of laughing, but also gave me like a really good sense as far as like how this anime is gonna go. The illustration obviously looked amazing. Like I said, it just reminded me of like when I was watching Toonami as a kid. I think it's better, but it still kind of gave me that nostalgic feeling of like, okay, this is Bleach, in my opinion, has always been kind of like a little bit of a dark show. Like it's never kind of been kind of like, no disrespect to it, but it's never been like one of those happy animes. This particular anime has always had a sense of seriousness and danger and reality to it, despite the fact that obviously it's a fantasy based, or an adventure based anime, but it still has always had kind of like, hey, this is serious. Like, people are really gonna get jacked up, in this anime. The level of violence that they put in, especially when you just first see those first two Shinigami that appear in the real world. I felt bad for them, because of course The first, one was a scaredy cat, and I can't remember the names, but one just kind of goes off and is, being brave, trying to be tough and stuff like that. And he's running up the steps, running from a hollow, and then you just see like three hollow randomly standing there, and it just shows like just her mangled body. She just got obviously just the crap beat out of her, and was pretty much, I would assume, was pretty much dead at that particular point, because you could barely see her. She obviously dropped her sword, but when you just saw like just her mangled or just completely just destroyed body, and just the blood that you saw from it, it put me in a mind frame. It's like, all right, if you'll do this to a side character, if Kubo's gonna show us that, hey, this is a level of violence just from some lower ranking Shinigami against some hollow that are in Karakura Town, I cannot possibly wait to see how it's going to look when obviously some characters are going to be killed. We just simply know how this is going to go, and we're going to see how people, the Quincy are just going to come in here and wreck shop. So again, it just simply gives me that really big foreshadowing that Kubo is, I'm here to break your heart. If you haven't seen the manga, brace yourselves. If you stopped for a little bit and you were watching Bleach when it was animated, or you just got up to this point and you just got done watching it, there's going to be a lot of violence. There's not going to be any of that, those, other animes, they kind of don't necessarily show death. Bleach does not shy away from it. Like, there's not going to be any, like, how anime characters, I know they do, some other animes, they white the eyes or something like that, or they just simply show the person passed out, or they show a shadow or something like that. No, Bleach is going to show you that this person's going to die, and you will see that they die. So, yeah, and it was kind of cool, for sure, to kind of see Ichigo in the group, Orihime, Chado, Uryu, Ishida, just simply, show up, of course, obviously, to kind of hold it down, represent for the squad, Karakura squad. And their designs looks absolutely amazing. The night vibe, like, again, it gives me nostalgic Death Note vibes. Of course, the first person that we kind of see, or not that we see, but as far as like in terms of Soul Reapers, we kind of get that vibe of just kind of like this seriousness in the atmosphere, is Rukia. Of course, when she's standing on top of that not a light post, but the power line, kind of almost like Itachi, but not important. But it still kind of gives you like that serious vibe, so it was really cool to see. Like, the transformations are dope. I like how they Kubo didn't fluff anybody too much in terms of like trying to like make it like such an extended time has passed, and all of a sudden these people are just like god tier, amazing, strong, and stuff like that. You still see them taking the fight seriously. The part that did kind of have me laugh is that of course, Ichigo, pretty much like kills the first one, and then they get rid of the others. But then all of a sudden, it seems like it just turned into like a gang war. All of a sudden, all these hollows start coming out of nowhere, out of the woodworks, which was freaking hilarious to me. He was like, yo, where were y'all at? They just start like coming out of buildings and stuff like that. And it definitely does seem like, for sure, like these don't seem like, they seem like much bigger hollow, compared to kind of like what we see. Like, I'm not saying that the hollow have always been small, but it's kind of almost like some of the hollows almost look like they were like elephant size. But then when you see these particular hollows, they look like they're the size of a house, or something like that. And I'm just kind of like, damn, why are these hollows so damn big? Like, what's going on here? So, it definitely, I was like, okay, hey, skyscraper size hollows, mansion size hollows. Okay, let's go with it, But I guess that is just another example of how strong our cast has gotten, during the time period that they're just, fitting them off. Or he may not do anything too special, she's just simply, reflecting their attacks. She's in the I reject. Chado clearly kills an entire building of people. Are we not gonna acknowledge that? That was fucking hilarious. I'm just like, bro, you just punched like 3 hollow into a building that clearly has residents in it. Are we just gonna ignore that? And that for a second I was just like, what the fuck? But then of course, instead of it, kind of like when he does La Muerte, And then of course he knocks the hollow into the building, and it shows the skull, which I thought that was really cool, really dope. I did still feel really bad for the residents in the home. I was just like, come on guys, I know this is like, they can't see the hollow, but I was like, but still, like somebody clearly got hurt there. Superman would be proud, because that's exactly what the fuck that reminded me of. It's just, oh, we're doing this for justice and saving humanity while also destroying the entire city. Yeah. So I definitely hope that doesn't continue, because humorously, that's not something I'm going to be able to continue to ignore, because every time I see it, I'm going to laugh and be like, you're killing people. Overall, the anime itself looks amazing. Kubo is clearly not wasting time here. It simply just literally put us in right at a pace that we're gonna understand. Like, hey guys, like we don't have we're not here to play around. Here for a good time, not for a long time. And what we're going to do is simply show you that like the Quincy are like nothing you've ever experienced before. And up until this point, like he's already just shown us like how merciless like they're going to be. Obviously rest in peace to Chojuro Sazakibe, the first division vice captain. Like he was just utterly destroyed. Again, I've already seen in the manga and I've seen in the illustration. I imagine that they're going to pick up, with Chojuro's funeral. They're not going to actually show him dying. But I did think that was really cool for a second that when Ginryusai, the first division captain, he's just staring out, at the Serete, and then you just see a strike of lightning, and he's like, hey, that was Chojuro, like what the fuck is going on here? And then of course somebody reports to him, and then, in a split second, that Shinigami is clearly just decapitated in a split second, and the Quincy just show up, and obviously just kind of borderline threaten Yamamoto, and it's just like, oh, y'all are that bold. Like they were, that was a clear flex, and then less than a moment, then here comes Chojuro flying, through the office, and just is pretty much just impaled, with a Quincy arrow. And obviously this is the first time that we've ever seen Ginryusai have such a reaction. Obviously they'll go into more detail about that. You'll be able to understand the relationship between those two, but it was definitely well worth seeing. And like I said, it just simply, it put me like, I just hopped on a treadmill at like 7 miles an hour. Like it was just like, oh, we're doing this. Like there was no easy transition. It was like, hey, this is the 1,000-year Blood War arc. So I'm extremely excited. I really wish that it would I saw some of the rumors online, and they were saying that, these episodes are going to be like 3 hours long and stuff like that. I figured that it wasn't true, and I'm praying that, or I wished, the first couple of episodes would have been like 3 hours long. I could have just enjoyed it and stayed up late, because after I watched that episode, I didn't go to bed until like 4 a.m. in the morning. So, yeah. So I'm really happy that obviously Bleach is back, one of the big three. So yeah, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. The Quincy are clearly not here to fuck around. We saw Yuhaba, how he introduced himself, so to speak, or how he was introduced, is that hey, he's a serious man. He doesn't like arguing, clearly, and he obviously cut one of his soldiers' arms off, because he told him not to argue. And I didn't forget about Ichigo and his fight, with the Quincy and stuff like that. But I think that's just simply a given. We knew that was going to be cold. I liked how the transformation, as soon as I heard the chain kind of rattle with Tensa Zangetsu, it gave me chills. It's old school. Man, I am so happy that Bleach is back, man. We are here. We've been asking this forever. We are the most slept on fan base out of the big three. And I'm happy that we are getting our moment. And I'm so happy that Kubo obviously is getting his moment to close out Bleach properly. There's going to be lots more to go over. I'm going to be here for I would hope every episode. Probably won't. But, you know, I won't say that I won't, but I'm going to try my absolute best. And maybe we'll start doing some live reactions as well, so that way we can see it in real time. But that's pretty much all I got for the first episode. Again, if you have not watched it, you can watch it on Hulu, you can watch it on Crunchyroll, and you can also watch it on Disney+. It's not streaming on Funimation. Just answering that question right now. It is not streaming on Funimation. So again, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel.